You ever wonder what's really going on under the hood when you run an automation script? It's not actually magic. It's a conversation, a very specific secret conversation happening between your code and the browser. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode that secret language.
So, it all kicks off with something you've done 1,000 times, right? A single line of code in Python, Java, whatever you use. You're just telling the browser to do something simple like, hey, go to this page or find this button for me. But getting that instruction from your fingertips into the browser, well, that's where our story really starts.
And that's the big question, isn't it? Your code can't just reach out and poke the browser directly. There's a whole communication pipeline in between, a protocol that acts like a translator and a delivery service, turning your code into real actions on the screen.
Now, this conversation, this protocol, has changed a ton over the years. We're going to trace that entire evolution, all the way from the old-school way of sending messages one at a time to the brand-new world of real-time, two-way communication.
Okay, so let's rewind and start at the very beginning. We're talking about the original protocol that pretty much made modern browser automation possible. This was the foundation that everything else was built on. So here's the play-by-play. Your script fires off a command. The Selenium client library grabs it, wraps it up into a neat little JSON package, and sends it over HTTP. That's the JSON Wire Protocol part. Then, something like Chrome driver catches that package, unwraps it, and tells the browser what to do. The browser does the thing, and then sends a reply, like, okay, I did it, or uh-oh, something went wrong, all the way back up the chain.
The best way to think about this is like old-school snail mail. You send a letter, your command, and then you just wait. You can't do anything else until you get a letter back. It's a one-way street at a time. It worked, for sure, but it wasn't exactly fast or efficient, especially for the super dynamic, event-driven web apps we're building today.
Now, that old way had a huge problem. Every single browser driver, Chrome, Firefox, you name it, spoke a slightly different dialect of this JSON language. And that, as you can imagine, led to flaky tests and massive headaches for developers. The world needed a universal translator.
And this slide right here shows the giant leap forward. The World Wide Web Consortium, the W3C, stepped in and created the official WebDriver protocol. What it did was basically force all browser drivers to speak the exact same language. No more dialects, no more messy translations. Suddenly, a command to click a button meant the same thing to Chrome, Firefox, Safari, everybody. And just like that, our tests got way more reliable.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Because once everybody's speaking the same language, you can start to do some pretty powerful things. You can actually start listening in on the conversation.
I mean, think about it. If you know exactly what every single command looks like because there's a standard, you can build a tool that just sits in the middle and intercepts them. A tool that analyzes these commands as they fly from your script to the browser.
And this is precisely what the Appium team did. They built a security plugin that eavesdrops on every command and gives it a risk score. So, a simple command like get page source? Yeah, that's low risk, no big deal. But something like mobile shell? Whoa, that gives you direct access to the device's command line. That's a super high-risk operation, and now we can spot it.
And check out how powerful this becomes. When one of those risky commands is intercepted, the plugin can immediately shoot off an alert. This lets a completely separate security dashboard light up in real time, flagging a dangerous operation the very second it happens. This kind of tool is only possible because that W3C standard guarantees what those commands are going to look like.
So up to this point, the conversation has still basically been a one-way street, right? Our script talks, the browser listens, and then responds. But what if the browser could start the conversation? What if it could just tell us things as they happen, without us even having to ask?
And that is the core idea behind the next big thing, WebDriver BiDi, with the BiDi standing for Bi-Directional. As the official W3C spec says, this lets events stream from the browser back to our script. This is an absolute game changer for automating modern websites.
This comparison makes it crystal clear. If the old way was sending a letter and waiting, WebDriver BiDi is like a live phone call. Instead of our script having to constantly pull the browser, asking, are you done yet? Did anything happen? How about now? Over and over again, the browser can now just tell us. The line is open in both directions.
So what kind of stuff can the browser tell us about? Oh man, all the good stuff. We can subscribe to console logs in real time. We can intercept network requests before they even go out. We get notified the exact moment the DOM is ready. We can catch JavaScript errors as they happen. And we can even know when a user would see a file upload dialog.
It gives us this incredible, real-time window into what the browser is actually doing.
So let's bring it all home. This change, this shift from a one-way command line to a true two-way conversation, it fundamentally changes the entire game for browser automation.
This new model unlocks some massive benefits. Our tests can be way faster and a whole lot less flaky because we can finally get rid of all those clunky, arbitrary waits. We just listen for the browser to tell us when something's ready. We can build incredibly powerful real-time monitoring tools. Debugging becomes a dream, and honestly, it opens the door for a whole new generation of advanced dev tools we haven't even thought of yet.
So we've gone from sending simple letters back and forth to having this rich, intelligent, real-time dialogue. The secret language of browsers isn't just about telling the browser what to do anymore. It's about listening to what the browser has to say.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As our apps and websites get more and more complex, this two-way conversation is going to be absolutely essential. So what's next? What's that next critical piece of information you wish the browser could just tell you right now? A performance problem? An accessibility issue? The answers to that are going to shape the entire future of how we build and test for the web.